if you recognise the voice on the tape recording you're about to hear. It's a 999 call to the emergency services made in the early hours of Monday the 27th of September. You'll need to listen quite carefully. It's short and rather muddled. Here it is.
Emergency, which service?
Yeah, it's ambulance, please. Quick, straight away. It's the Park Tavern.
Yeah, just hold the line,
It's the Park Tavern, London Road, Isworth. It's a caravan round the back.
Well, now, shortly before that call was made, a robbery had taken place at a pub in Brentford in Middlesex, and a man lay dying. At the beginning of that weekend, on Friday the 24th of September, Caroline Walsh had flown to Ireland to attend a wedding. Trevor Thomas saw her off at Heathrow Airport.
Trevor was the sort of person he wouldn't drop you off. He had to check you in, take you up to the boarding, hand you your boarding ticket and see you through, making sure you had everything with you.
All right.
Lord, I've forgotten the wedding present.
No, you haven't. It's in your bags.
Is it?
Yes,
in my case?
Yes, it is.
Are you sure?
Yes, of course it is. Take care.
My darling.
Ring me as soon as you get there.
I promise.
Trevor and I spent very little time apart. And the minute we hit the airport, I knew already I was missing him. We'd been together about 4.5 years, and I know it sounds silly, but it was love at first sight.
Trevor was the landlord of a pub a few miles away, as well as helping Caroline to run the Park Tavern in Brentford, where they both lived. Trevor was taking charge until Caroline's return on the Monday.
You around tonight, then?
Yes, I am. You?
Yeah, of course I am.
Been let off the leash, have we?
Always off the leash.
Woof, woof.
There we go. Not forgotten. Hiya, Matt.
Hello, boys.
Oh, hello.
Here's your potatoes.
Lovely, thank you very much. By the way, Trev, I put you on a raffle.
Thank you very much.
Trevor always had a lot of time for the older customers in the pub. He loved to sit down and he loved to chat to them, and he always liked to do anything he could for them.
On the house. That's it. And a good dog.
To get away from the pub, Caroline and Trevor sometimes stayed in a mobile home that they kept at the back of the Park Tavern. It's Sunday, the 26th of September.
Oh, wonderful. Are you pulling his strings?
Yes.
Oh, blimey, get the drinks in, Jeffy.
Who are you? It's supposed to be one day off.
Ron's pain.
Those are the magic words.
What time should she get in? 4 o'clock. But she'll miss the plane.
She won't.
She will. She will.
Exactly. Caroline's on the phone to Trevor.
Trev?
The couple had been speaking to each other twice a day on the phone.
Hello. Yeah, I'm fine. No, usual crowd.
My last words to Trevor Sunday night were just meet me at the airport and put those two big arms around me.
You look knackered. Why don't you go to bed?
Oh, you sure?
Yeah, no problem. I'll grab a taxi.
Oh, cheers.
Night.
No.
It would have been shortly before midnight when Trevor left the pub and retired to the mobile home for the night, presumably taking his keys with him. Nearly 6 hours later, a local man was passing the Park Tavern on his way to work. He saw a man he describes as stockily built beside a small dark-coloured car. He noticed there was another man in the driver's seat. Then 20 minutes later, and 2 miles away...
I was driving in Springgrove Crescent and I noticed a fella using a telephone. And I thought to myself, blimey, he's out early.
Emergency, which service?
Yeah, it's ambulance, please. Quick, straight away. It's the Park Tavern.
Yeah, just hold the line,
It's the Park Tavern, London Road, Isworth. It's a caravan round the back.
He was about 5'8", about 28 to 30 years old, with sort of dirty blonde hair. You know, he got into the passenger side of a dark-coloured small hatchback, and they drove off in the direction of Isleworth. A few minutes later, the phone started ringing. Being a bit nosy, I was going to get out and answer it, but I didn't sort of bother, and it stopped ringing, so I then just carried on.
In fact, it was the emergency services checking to see if the call was genuine. Soon afterwards, the police checked the Park Tavern, but didn't see anything unusual.
I trotted into work about 11:45, 10 to 11, as normal. And I went through to the bar to open up. And as I was walking, I noticed that the safe was wide open. And this was very unusual.
Trevor?
Normally, things would have been cleared away, but it was in a kind of disarray. And there was just a feel about the place. And I was very nervous. I didn't know what had happened or anything like that. And I just thought, I've got to get out of here. And that's when I went through the door to phone the police.
Where's that light on?
Be careful.
Oh my God, it's Trevor.
Trevor had been bound and gagged so tightly that he had died from asphyxiation.
At the airport, I was met by a CID and told what had happened.
Excuse me, sorry. Are you Caroline Wong?
Yes!
I'm Detective Constable Sheila Hughes. May I have a word with you in private, please?
What is it?
My first reaction was it couldn't happen to me. This sort of thing doesn't happen to ordinary people. And then it set in that, yes, it has happened to me. And what it's done to me and my family and Trevor's family. And all I can say is if there's anybody out there that knows anything at all, please, for the sake of us and for Trevor's mother, father and family, please come forward.
Well, Mr. Hemming, so far you believe that robbery was the intended crime rather than murder, do you?
I think it was a robbery that went badly wrong. Trevor would have always had those keys with him. I believe he was surprised in that caravan at the back of the pub. He was tied up tightly, beaten, and then they robbed the safe in the pub. He was a friendly, outgoing sort of chap. I think someone probably knew his movements, and someone knew he was going to be in that van, so there may be some inside information here.
He ran another pub as well, didn't he?
Yes, he had a part ownership in a pub down in Hounslow called the Royal Albion.
Now, your most important clue by far, of course, is that voice on the tape, so we'll listen to it one more time. It's very short.
Emergency, which service?
Yeah, it's ambulance, please. Quick, straight away. It's the Park Tavern.
Yeah, just hold the line,
It's the Park Tavern, London Road, Isleworth. It's a caravan round the back.
How sure are you that that voice is one of Trevor's attackers?
Oh, I'm sure that it is one of the attackers. There's a lot of panic in the voice there. I think he maybe had a fit of compassion, maybe cold feet, but he was trying to alert the ambulance service.
Do you believe this is the man the taxi driver saw?
Yes, I believe after that he got into this small black hatchback car, being driven by another chap, drove off towards Isleworth.
Where was it the taxi driver saw him exactly?
It was Spring Grove Road, down, it's about 2 miles away from the pub.
And the fact that there was a hatchback car involved could tie in very nicely with the sighting that about, what, 5:40 outside the pub?
Yes, about 10 minutes before the phone call outside the pub, similar sort of black hatchback with a chap walking alongside it. He was described as about, stocky build with a black duffel coat on. And the chap down at the phone box, he's been described as about 30 years old, dirty blonde hair, perhaps mousy hair, and about, say, 5'8", 30 years old.
And what was missing from the safe?
Quite a substantial amount of cash and some jewellery. I've got 2 items here which are identical to items stolen. I'd like to show it to the viewers. We've got a gold bangle. It's got 7 stones in the bangle. It's quite distinctive, an identical one of that was stolen. And a locket. This similar locket to this. It hasn't got the scrolling on it, but the initials on it, but the same sort of scrolling. Mm. If anyone's been offered this sort of jewellery, indeed any other jewellery, and anyone can recognise that voice, I'll be very grateful if they ring us.
Right, there's a substantial reward. So that voice, as you said, is very important, vital. If you can recognise that voice, we'll play it one more time.
Emergency, which service?
Yeah, it's ambulance, please. Quick, straight away. It's the Park Tavern.
Yeah, just hold the line,
It's the Park Tavern, London Road, Isworth. It's a caravan round the back.
Well, if you think you know who that might be, if you can help in any way, please ring. 0500 600 600 is the number here, or you can call the incident room in Staines, and that's 0784 446821. That's 0784, the code for Staines, 446821.